Welcome back to another episode of the Inkwell podcast. I am joined today by Alfred, and he's made some amazing books. So let's get him in here. Alfred, how you doing?
How you doing? Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here.
Nice. Thanks for being on the show here. I tend to have a bunch of questions, just a handful of questions. I want the people out there watching, the fans, to really get to know you and get to know your story. So we'll just dive right into those questions. Starting out with
Cool.
what really inspired you to pursue being into indie comics.
I was a big fan of like anybody else, a big fan of early Image
Hmm.
comics when they came out. Did I just go dark?
A little bit. There you go.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Image comics when they came out. Of course, the X-Men run, Mark Silvestri and Jim Lee X-Men run, and I just felt like the way those worlds you could build your own worlds, but it was really
Hmm.
the Image run that set it off.
Yeah, same for me. I definitely was a kid of the late '80s, early '90s, and that made an impact, on me.
Correct.
Um, and you do all the writing, or do you do the art?
Some of them I got writing partners. Like on
Hmm.
chess, I had a writing partner, LSD Grutchy. On chess and blowtorch, on Pins Point, I had a writing partner named Philip Morgan. So sometimes I write with somebody, sometimes I do it by myself.
Okay, okay. And is there any like formal education on that, or you just kind of like learned as you went?
When I started doing scripts, at the time they had an online thing from a writer called Scott Lobdell,
Hmm.
who was like the
Hmm.
writer on Alpha Flight or something back that time. So I used that template to learn how to do my scripts.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, because it's definitely writing comics is a lot of people don't realize it's pretty different than doing, like a screenplay or other things like that. I know you got a few books that we're going to talk about here, but I'm just, also, what are some of the things that you could elaborate on that, keep you motivated in publishing and writing?
It's incredible to build these worlds and these adventures,
Hmm.
and now you could dictate, what kind of. I've been writing for a little while, so now you could just dictate what's the atmosphere you want in your comic book. You know what I mean? What do you want? If you want a emotional story, a lot of background, a lot of character depth, or you just want something fun to read. And now I'm in the like the part now. I just like to write stuff fun to read because I already did. When you study a structure, you study backstory, you study character development, you story in the middle, you study an ending, and the
Hmm.
structure you will go by it for so long. But now, once you kind of understand that, you just could just have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Being an indie creator, there's a lot of variety we can write with, a lot of, like you're saying, a lot of fun stories. And that's important to kind of put some of, ourselves into the stories, into the characters that we have. Um, you
Correct.
mentioned, the image and, that boom and some of the other guys that were part of that image boom. But, if you could, what were some of your biggest influences to get into writing or to get into like indie comics in general?
Again, Scott Lobdell had an Alpha Flight run at that time. Of course, Wildcats, Youngblood,
Hmm.
Cyberforce, you know, and those type of comic books.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything that was a team structure, the X-Men. I love
Okay.
the team structure and relationship in the
Hmm.
comic book. Something about this light is I don't know what's going on with this light.
That's all right.
Why is doing that?
No, that's good.
Uh,
I'm also a fan of like team books. I love like the Jim Lee X run, and just going back to, although I do like the Batmans and the Spider Mans solo people, but like some of those team books just they had more characters, but they also had like more dynamics to the storytelling because you had more characters. Um, you know,
correct,
uh,
correct. And the relationships, you get to play with the relationships more.
yeah, definitely, I would agree. What would you say are kind of some of the biggest challenges as an indie creator, as a writer, getting these books out into the public here?
The story. and
Yeah.
story block. I mean, you know how that is. You write so long, it's like you don't want to write the same thing twice, right?
Yeah.
You try not to write the same thing twice. So sometimes when you have an idea, even when you think you got a new idea, you're still writing the same idea. You gotta like go back and trying to adjust it, edit it, and just keep thoughts going of how you could do something new, a new story. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to do a new story in comic books, but something that makes your character or your characters still be entertaining for people that read previous issues.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's what I tell a lot of we have these conversations about um, telling something that's different, but it's kind of like I always say, you take something that's familiar and you put your own spin on it, so that it really helps people to like. You can say, "Oh, my if you like teen books, right? Here, I have a teen book, right?" So it's something familiar, but then it's completely different. As far as like storytelling or even art, things like that. You do have a couple different books. How does that kind of help or hurt possibly like the promoting or launching Kickstarters with different books going on, things like that?
I do a lot of different books, but they're all related to my flag title chess, which is
Okay.
about a personal agenda strike team.
Hmm.
So even when I do single books or one shots, it's spin-offs off of that. So it's really the same characters
Okay.
that using in different stories. So like it's like the X Men using Wolverine on one comic book or Iceman on one comic book. It's
Hmm.
the same individuals. Just break off so you can have stories where team structure is heavy, right? Because you add in a lot of
Yeah.
dialogue, you add in a lot of personalities, and you try and sell the relationship of your team to the reader,
Right. Right.
right? So you
Yeah.
spend more time you spend more time composing the relationship and the story structure than you do the personalities. When you do it
Hmm.
by yourself, like a Pinpoint solo or Blowtorch solo, you don't have to worry about the back character because they could get that from the team book. And the
Hmm.
solos, you could go right into the action and have more fun and open it up with what the character's doing.
Yeah. It's almost like more character development. You can dedicate more time to that specific character.
Right.
And then you like more of it, you can always go back to the team books and things like that.
That's
um,
right.
you know how do you feel about like how do you get into the promotion side of things, like the marketing and really getting the word out? Because I know as an indie creator, like it's a struggle. Social media can be kind of a blessing and a curse. There's a lot of avenues out there for us to get the word out, but how do you kind of navigate that space?
It's hard. It's always going. It's hard in with the current developments. Because I was in Diamond with the current developments. You know what I'm saying? That took a pause. So I mean, it's not easy. It's
Hmm.
not easy. Whether you do Kickstarter, whether you do conventions, no matter which way you go, you gotta put the effort in. You gotta put something in somewhere.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
like in the upcoming year, I'm with Philbo Distribution, but this you gotta do something. If you're gonna do Kickstarters, which is I don't like doing Kickstarters because they are really hard, but you're doing Kickstarters like I did two of those in the past year.
Hmm.
Um, I was successful with being Bullets and Footpath, but it's just the back-to-back Kickstarters is really a toll on somebody.
Yeah.
So uh, finding a distribution is important. A way that people could get. You just want to find a way that people could get to your comic book, and uh,
Hmm.
and then that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I always agree that like the more eyes on your book, it's not just yes, you're going to get more readership, but it also allows potential other avenues to get your book out there. Whether you start talking like TV shows or animes or other sponsorship type of deals, like the more people that see it, the more people there is for to be interested to potentially be interested in what we're producing. You did mention beer and bullets. Let's slide over to here and talk about what this book is about.
Now, Band Buzz was an incredible fun project. It was actually a crossover with Tony Cottrell at Advent Comics, who's also in
Hmm.
Filbo Distribution, with his character Southside. For those that know Southside, is also on sale through Felbo and coming back
Mhm.
next year with a new arc. 615 Comics, Malcolm McFadden has Subject Zero, and I had
Mhm.
Pinpoint from Chess, which is on the outside seem like all the same character,
Mhm.
right? Because they're all action, use guns, so on and so forth. So on the outside, they seem like the same character,
Mhm.
right? So I said to them, I said, "Yo, let me do a crossover with all three. We could show them together, but show what makes them different."
Mhm.
And they agreed. We all worked together, along with Malcolm doing the presentation and the Kickstarter for it, which he
Mhm.
did an incredible job with the fulfillment and remarkable. And the product came out great, and the reviews been fantastic. So because of the feedback that we got from the crossover from the launch of the Kickstarter, I'm now gonna put it in stores as well.
Nice.
So and try to continue that feedback.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept to take similar characters and put them in the same story, but then showcase how they're all different, even though, like you said, on the outside they look very similar. This
Yeah,
is
on
issue
the
one.
outside,
Yeah, go
no,
ahead.
this is a one
Sorry.
shot. It's not issue one. It's just a
Okay,
one shot.
one shot.
Correct.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Not to say that
And
they
then
won't meet up again in the future, but
yeah,
you know,
crossovers are fun. Yeah, there's always like that avenue, the just to always like, hey, bring that character back because that issue was a lot of fun. And if fans, you have the support, right? If the fans support it, they like it. I mean, if it's available, why not? Uh, I
yeah,
mean,
it did great.
what's the story really about? Is I mean, you're talking like guys that kind of on the outside are the same character. Are they involved in the government? What's kind of the backstory a little bit?
Uh, you remember the show Cheers? If you're old enough to remember
Hmm.
that,
Oh yeah.
uh, think of this crossover as Norm, Woody, and Sam. They all
Okay.
meet up in a bar. They trading stories, and as they trading stories, you get to some flashbacks that gives you an idea of how each one of them deals with a situation.
Okay.
And then at the end, unfortunately, somebody does the wrong thing at the wrong time by attacking them, attacking the
Mhm.
bar, and now he has not only one to deal with, but all three to deal with, and it turns into a big action movie at the end of the comic book. So
That sounds like a lot of
it's
fun.
definitely for
I mean
yeah, it's definitely for people that likes action. The Expendables, GI Joe,
mhm.
Tango and Cash, anything with explosions. If you like anything with explosions, you want to read it like a movie, you're gonna like this. It's a lot of action. It's a fun read, right? It's not
Mhm.
about background on each character because they have their own books for that.
Mhm.
But yeah, once you read this, you should love all three characters. If not one, but all three characters. If not all three, at least
Nice.
one of the characters, rather.
Right. Right. There's something for everybody.
There's something for everybody. I mean, it's a fun read. It's sarcastic, and
Mhm.
you got Pinpoint, who's all attitude, right? That's the kind of person he is. You got Subject Zero, who is one of the most efficient killers on the planet.
Mhm.
Malcolm McFadden, Subject Zero, and you got Tony Cottrell, Malone, which is like the righteous side, like a shaft or a neighborhood protector.
Okay.
So you put those three together. You put those three together, and they pick with each other. They're at a bar. They're trying to enjoy a beer, and somebody, a villain by the name of Phantom Tech comes in, starts a fight, and just his bad luck that he's not running into one but three of
Yeah.
one of the baddest guys on the planet. So
That sounds like a really fun story. I mean, that's a unique take is to have a crossover. Like I know growing up, like Image crossed over a lot of different characters and books, but
yeah,
this is definitely it's Cheers, but it's a it's a little bit different. But that
cheers,
sounds like a lot of
cheers,
fun.
cheers on steroids. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like cheers on steroids.
yeah, that sounds a lot of fun. Um, and the other book here is Blowtorch. You got. Bury the Past. Is that a newer title? Is that going to be maybe a ongoing, story? Talk about this one.
Th- This is this is also a one shot. It's a spin-off
Okay.
of chess. It's a re-release. Blowtorch came out before this particular one with a Nito Diaz cover and did well, did very well. And then we had some convention specials that did very well. So I'm taking the opportunity to get this gold foil one in stores to
Oh,
people that did to
nice.
get the limited. So this is going to be a
Nice.
gold foil, not a regular cover, a gold foil cover.
That would
So
look really cool. Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be a specialty cover for people that, of Low Torch that been following it and likes to collect
Mhm.
the limited edition that's been coming out. This is going to be a gold foil limited edition available in stores. So make sure you
Okay.
you look out for this one and check it out.
And that'll be through Filbo as well, right?
That is correct. In
Nice.
January 2026.
6, yeah, I'll have to look out for that. I'm kind of a sucker for like variant covers and especially like the foil covers. Like they did a lot of those in the 90s, and it's just some of them look really, really cool. So yeah, big influence on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. When you're doing a regular release, sometimes it's the limiteds that people can get a hold unless they see you at a convention or something like that. So those limiteds that are not as available. This is a way to get this particular gold foil variant this time
Yeah.
around. I'm gonna put it in the store so it could be expanded to people that could get it from the store or something like that. So you
And
said just a convention.
what's his story? What's kind of like the gist of this issue, this one shot?
This one shot tells about a character named Richard Kincaid, aka Blowtorch. It
Hmm.
get This is a full one shot. It gives you a really strong background on who he is
Hmm.
and how he got to the position he's in. But the story's about he had his face scarred in a minefield explosion, so he
Okay.
wears a mask constantly. So when he got scarred, when he went through that situation, he was at a recovery unit, and the nurse that took care of him, they kind of fell in love, right? But he didn't accept her love because he was so ashamed of his face.
Okay.
But they still loved each other. Now, years later, she calls him for help because she's in trouble with this out of control government weapon experiment that's going crazy. Of course, Blowtorch is going to run and save her. Only problem is he had to take his new girlfriend with him, who's
Okay.
who's a character named Footpath that's on the chess team.
Okay.
So he has to take his new girlfriend with him to save the woman that he was in love with, and as a nurse. So it's a lot of action, and it's a little triangle in there too. It gets a little crazy.
I was gonna say that would seem a little awkward if I had to do that. Bring my my current, wife around and do something to save my old one. You know what I mean? Like that seems a little, it could be crazy.
Yeah. So this it has a lot of character development as well as a
Hmm.
story that goes along with the
Hmm.
action in this particular one shot. So this is a reader's book. It's not just a all fun and games. You really get an emotional tie-in with this book. This one shot.
Okay, nice. Nice. And these characters are also in some of your other book, Chess, right?
Yeah, these characters are all from chess. That's correct.
Okay. Is Chess being distributed by Phil?
The new not the older issues that we did before, because
Okay.
we're gonna do some new issues. We're gonna do some new stuff. Right now, we're concentrating outside of Blowtorch, Bury the Past. We're concentrating on new stuff for
Okay.
2026.
Nice. Okay. Well, that'll be something that fans can look out for, and definitely. I mean, I know Phil is pretty big on social media. His catalog is out there. He's in a ton of stores. It's just something that us indie creators. It's just he's given us another avenue to get our books out there and make it affordable for us, feasible for us. So that's
Mhm.
it's really cool. That cover looked really familiar as far as like the art style, like not what it is, but just like, and I was like, "Oh, you said,
Yeah,
Diaz, right?" So
Nito Diaz, the man, the myth, the
Yeah.
legend. He's on what every he's on X-Men right now,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
believe he's just doing Wonder Man. Just got signed for Wonder Man too. I saw his
Mhm.
cover for Wonder Man. I mean, Nito Diaz is incredible talent. I was lucky enough to
Mhm.
work with him before he got the deal with Marvel. I'm
Mhm.
very proud of him. I'm very proud to see his accomplishments. And if
Yeah.
you're a Nito Diaz fan, this is definitely a cover you want to get and collect and hold on to.
Yeah, I mean, it would be pretty rare, compared to like what he does at Marvel, because it's like those see like thousands
That's
and
right.
thousands of prints, right? I mean, as an indie creator,
Right.
we would love to have a thousand, thousands of copies being sold, but
You it won't be a thousand prints of this gold foil cover. This is going to
yeah,
be the a particular one that's going into field post distribution only. It's not like going to be
mm,
a convention special,
yeah,
or
okay,
it might be a couple months over, but it won't be reprinted further down the line. Once
okay,
it's gone, it's gone. So we're doing it for particularly this release.
nice, nice. Yeah, well, I mean, the work is solid. I think, you've given us a lot to chew on as far as like the characters and, some interest, and you mentioned, possibly, Kickstarter or something coming up next year for some books. But, for the most part, it's going to be all new material next year. We're going to be, you're working with Philbo. I think I'm going to be working with him next year. I just got to get a few more things finished before I can launch. But yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of fun, and listening to your story and just everything about it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk about some of the things that we got going on.
Yeah, and well,
Definitely.
we'll wrap up this episode here. And like I said, it's been a pleasure, and always welcome to come back on. And I will see you guys on the next episode.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right.